So when you list your home, you have to have certain expectations beyond, oh, the agent's going to do a good job or my house is going to sell, because oftentimes in interesting markets, it doesn't sell itself. And therefore you have a realtor to rely on, providing they have the right plan. So the question is, what should you really expect from your realtor? And the answer is, well, a marketing plan would be a good thing. Let's talk about a marketing plan. What would that look like? Well, the realtor would have a specific set of timelines in order to do certain things that would yield results, hopefully predictable, and then they could share that with you. So, in other words, would they do an open house? How many open houses? The frequency between open houses. What about marketing? When we say marketing, is it digital marketing? Is it in the newspaper? Is it flyers? What about the feature magazines? How are they going to present your home? Are they going to have a website? Are they going to have it on YouTube or Facebook? Or are they just going to have the multiple listing service where all the properties that are for sale get uploaded to? And by the way, that's typically what happens. Agents don't, by and large, have a marketing plan. They put the house on the MLS system, they hope another realtor sells it, and then you look at them when it doesn't sell and say, hey, what are you doing to sell my house? And they kind of sheepishly say, well, it's not me, it's the market. They could have done a lot more. So number one, marketing plan. The next thing is a feedback strategy. So feedback is vitally important. Every time somebody, if your home is for sale, somebody comes through it, don't you really want to know what people are thinking about your home? If the agent has a feedback strategy, meaning a way to actually engage the realtor who has shown your property, whose client is not interested and they're busy, to actually respond to you. Just think about it. If you're a realtor and you're busy and you just showed a house that your client has no interest in, and that listing agent is calling you to find out what your clients thought, do you really want to waste your time to tell them when you're busy doing other things? Not really. They have to have a very successful plan to extract the information from agents who have disengaged from your property so that you can get information, valuable information from their feedback, so you know what's going on. Is your home being rejected? Is it being well received? Are there problems with your home that consistently impact the buyers and dissuade them from actually putting in an offer or having a higher level of interest? With feedback, that's the only way you're going to know. Is your price right? Feedback, that's the only way you're going to know. So it's vitally important that your agent understands how to garner feedback from other agents that have shown your property. So interpreting the market is probably the most important thing your realtor can do for you. And I'm talking about week-to-week interpretation. What we do, and most should if they don't, is we have a starting point. So the day that your property is listed, we know how many properties have sold prior to. We also know how many houses are on the market, which would constitute your competition. And so that's our starting point or our benchmark. After that, every single week, we communicate to our client and we determine, do we have an increase or decrease in inventory? So our competitors, does that mean we're more saleable or less saleable? If there are new listings that come on the market, we want to make sure that there isn't a trend change in pricing. So let's assume we're at $500,000 as our asking price. And the last 10 listings that came on the market for similar properties are now $450 on average. Well, the question then becomes, should we really, with that intel, with that knowledge, with that understanding the market shifted, should we really remain at $500,000? Probably not. But without doing this research, what will happen is time will pass and everybody gets uncomfortable after a certain point. What's going on? What's happening? Why isn't anybody coming to see my house? Why am I not getting any offers? When you could have known that in the first week if the market dynamics shifted. For example, houses that have come on the market at a much lesser price than we knew them to be when you listed your property. And you could have known that had you been interpreting the market, or more specifically, had the agent been interpreting the market. What's important is perpetual analysis of the market. One time is not going to be enough, because if your market dynamics, or if the market dynamics are whereby the market is odd and unpredictable and maybe squishy or soft, you want to make sure that you can actually sell. Because if you see every week for the first 4 weeks that you've listed your property that the market has compressed to the point where you can't sell, why endure 2-3 months on the market? It makes no sense to me. Why not just call it quits, say, listen, things aren't working out, we'll try it again another time. The reason this is important is that you don't have an extended series of inconveniences having your home on the market, keeping it tidy all the time, having to go out when people come over and see it, if the market's shifted to the point where you are unable to sell or not willing to sell at the new adjusted price. Conversely, if you get this perpetual information and it's to your advantage, let's say you haven't found a buyer yet and you're 3 weeks in, but your competition is dwindling. Let's say that instead of having 20 houses for sale when you started, there are only now 5 houses for sale. It's just a matter of time, quite likely, that you'll get your money or close to the money that you're asking. This information will help you navigate through uncharted waters in a complex market. It's really important. Another thing your realtor needs to do is offer you a performance guarantee. A performance guarantee essentially ensures that they're doing things on an ongoing basis to procure the results they said they were going to in the very beginning. Namely, sell your home quickly and for top dollar. So if they're not executing the action plan we talked about earlier, you know they're not in line with their performance guarantee. And at that point in time, I think it's in keeping to just cancel the listing. But that in and of itself needs to be established, as we talked about earlier, at the very beginning, where you sign the contract with all the terms and the conditions of your agreement. You have to make sure that you have an exit strategy. We call it an easy exit listing agreement. If you don't like the way we part our hair, you don't like the car we drive, you don't like the perfume or cologne that I'm wearing, you can tell us to get lost. Those are the things a good realtor will do for you. I hope this information was helpful, and thanks for watching.